Hello and welcome to Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. Yeah, it's been a pretty quiet couple weeks. I didn't record last week because frankly, I just didn't have that much knitting to show. It's one of those seasons where I'm yeah, I'm very steadily working on one or two projects, and yeah, that's just kind of life. And it's sometimes knitting gets a lot of time and sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where when I didn't have a lot else going on in my life a couple years ago, more than a couple years ago, I did a lot more knitting, and it was a lot more of my brain was occupied by it. It's one of those things where eventually life just kind of changes and you have other things going on, and then you're okay, well, this is not it's part of the background noise, but it's not necessarily the main noise in my brain. It's kind of how I feel about it. So yeah, but I've had a nice, very good couple weeks. Sometimes people get I get comments after I post without a week of posting, and people are oh my gosh, I was so worried about you, I hope you're okay. I'm yeah, I'm good, I was just taking a week off. Just kind of chilling. So in the past couple weeks I did finish this pair of socks. Finished the Red Robin socks, which are still not blocked. Haven't blocked anything. I still haven't even blocked the baby sweater, which is also sitting here right in front of me. But these Red Robin socks are done, and I'm really pleased with them. They were quite meditative. This pattern was, especially once you get to the foot and you're only patterning the top. The pattern is mostly knitting. There's one in every 4 rows is patterned, or rounds is patterned. And the pattern is quite simple. So the pattern you get used to is just a yarn over, and then you knit a couple stitches, and then you pass the yarn over the stitches. And so it's, once you get used to the rhythm of the yarn over row or round, it is pretty easy. But then the next round is a little harder because the stitches are grouped together in very tight twos, pairs, I guess that's a word. And you have to be pretty careful not to split the plies, or to make sure that you go you get the whole stitch, or so yeah, but I enjoyed knitting them. It did get a little bit repetitive after a sock. Basically, I kind of was it was an engaging pattern for one sock, and then it was kind of oh, do I have to do this again? You know what I mean? Some patterns, it's really easy to want to do another one, and some it's not as easy. And I don't know if I know the difference necessarily. I think my favorite type of sock in terms of how engaging the knit is would be something with a panel down the front. So there's often, my favorite sock doesn't have a pattern on the back at all. So you can always just knit that whole side of the sock without thinking too much, because it kind of gives your brain just a little rest. And then you pattern the front of the sock. And lace patterns are my favorite because you just have to follow knits and purls on an even row, and then on the odd rows you have to do the lace. So your brain is getting just enough of a workout to keep it fresh and make you want to keep going and be oh, I want to do one more patterned row. Ooh, I want to do one more patterned row, And then you get a little brain breather in between. And I spend a lot of time thinking about learning strategies for students and things like that. And so that does make the most sense to me, is that you want to have some engagement, but you don't want to be overstimulated by the pattern. And that, to me, for me, is the perfect sock. And I realize this is different for everybody because everybody has different preferences, but I think that's the sweet spot for me. And these socks, I did these in a merino nylon yak yarn. Well, the heels and toes and cuffs are in just some leftovers that I had, 75-25 base. But the merino nylon yak that I used here, I dyed myself. And when I got this base from Wool to Dye For, it came with they didn't have 100-gram skeins of this base. They only had 50-gram skeins on the base. So I got 10 50-gram skeins, and I dyed all of the 50-gram skeins in pairs so that I would have 100 grams for a whole pair of socks. And I have knitted at least, oh yeah, I know 3. I knitted 3 pairs of socks before these. So now I've knitted 4. But I knitted 3 pairs of socks previously with these, and I used more than one of the 50 gram skeins for all 3 of those pairs. This pair, oh my gosh, I like barely won yarn chicken with this skein. It was awesome. So I had like, I don't know, probably like 2 grams left over. So it wasn't like I eked out the win, because I have done that before too. But I used 1 skein. So I have the other one. You can see it right here. It looks just like a 100 gram skein, except it's just like thinner. It's like a 100 gram skein that's gone on a diet. So I now know that I can get a whole pair of women's socks out of 1 50 gram skein, which I kind of knew anyway, as long as I do the heels, toes, and cuffs in another color. And it probably would behoove me to be careful on how many rounds I decide to knit on the leg. So this one, I did 48 rounds on the leg instead of 60, which I would normally do. But actually I added 12 rounds to the foot than I normally would have for myself, because I wanted to give these to somebody with a slightly larger foot than me. So like a longer foot than me. So I could have done like a normal foot or leg, calf. Yeah, we call that the leg. Like, I design patterns, I should know this. I could do the 60 round leg and then a 80 round foot for myself if I wanted to knit a pair for myself with the other skein or something. So that's fun. I have a whole leftover skein, and I could use it for anything else. It doesn't have to be socks, but it was, you know, fun to do that. And I'm like, wow, I did such a great economical job saving yarn. And then I realized, like, Emma, what are you saving it for? You have so much yarn. Like, this is really unnecessary. What are you doing? But, you know, it's like the scarcity mindset. I don't know. It's not a scarce resource, honestly. So I'm going to put this guy back here. But yeah, I still have this sock yarn that I dyed last week sitting here. Oh, this is a skein of, Teeny, that's the fleece. That was the sheep's name. This is a skein of Teeny fleece. I haven't washed this skein. It is quite heavy. I've basically filled up 2 Ashford bobbins, so I'm sure it's not, I think the skein is like 400 yards probably. So I'm sure it's more than 100 grams, but not like 200 grams. It's more like a sport weight. So yeah, I had fun. And I still have a big bag of the fleece that I combed. So this is a fleece. This is a Shetland fleece that I got at New York Sheep and Wool. And I was sort of disappointed with it. And I don't know if that's the breed itself. Like, and I just don't really like processing Shetland fleece, or it was not a great fleece to begin with. Because I went at like the kind of closer to the end of the day to the fleece sale. There wasn't that much left. It was kind of picked over. And so I'm like, oh, maybe I just got like a less good quality fleece. Like at Maryland Sheep and Wool, I am getting Archie again with my friend Molly, but I'll probably buy another fleece at Maryland Sheep and Wool for, you know, practice. And I now know what I like in a fleece in terms of, like, I processed Archie last year myself and really enjoyed that. Just that type of fleece. And so I think I just need to look for like a slightly bouncier fleece. I don't think I'm ready for like a merino fleece because the staple's kind of short, but maybe, I don't know. Regardless, I'm having fun with this. This is cool. I'm now trying to like figure out what to knit with it because it's not very soft. Like, to be honest, it's like, you know, and I am a huge fan of woolly wool. I work with the Woolly Thistle very closely all the time. I love them. I love all of the wool that they sell. This is not even that soft. I wear woolly wool and this is just like quite coarse. So yeah, I have to decide what to do with it. It's like, if I know somebody who like wanted to weave a rug out of it, that's like what I would probably recommend, honestly, at this point. So I was thinking of knitting like a colorwork sweater with it, but I'm like, do I want to wear it next to my skin? I guess I could make a long sleeve sweater and just wear a long sleeve shirt under it, but I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like, it's my own fault. Like, I have no one to blame for myself for this problem, but it's still kind of like not great. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. But I am going to keep spinning it. I still have a pretty big bag here of the nestlets that I made from the fleece when I combed it a couple weeks ago during spring break. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll just keep going, make a couple skeins. Yeah, I don't know. I should just sell it on Etsy or something. There's no reason for me not to do that. It'd be kind of fun. If anyone weaves rugs and wants to buy some hand spun yarn from a fleece, let me know. I guess. I gotta wash it too. I have a lot of washing to do, but I need to reserve my blocking bucket because I have to wash my church vestments before Easter. I probably should wait until after Easter, but they're just like, there's so much incense at the church where I sing that like you need to wash them with wearying regularity, and I need to soak the whites. I have a white thing that goes around my neck, and then I have the white robe that goes on the top, and they need to get soaked in OxyClean. So I also have a sweater, like a white cardigan, like a cotton cardigan from like J. Crew, like not an expensive one, that needs to be soaked in OxyClean because I like have washed it too many times with blue jeans, and it's just like, you know, jeans, they don't stain like they used to because, you know, the dye processes are different, and more color fasting and stuff with the indigo, I think. But regardless, it's gotten grody, like it's been washed with dark colors too many times, and it just needs to be OxyCleaned. So I think that's the move tonight. I need to do that before I wash any of these yarns or knitted objects because that's a higher priority. I need them for Sunday, whereas these I don't need quite as soon. But I cast on another pair of socks. In typical Emma fashion, I like decided not to work on any other whips. Actually, no, I did work on this cowl last week. I worked on it for a couple of days. And I'm like at least halfway done with the color work portion of this. And I'm actually pretty satisfied with it. I think it looks really fun and nice. I like the colors. I think they're, they look good together. They're a lot more chill than what I would normally do. I think it's not low contrast. It's just like not quite so bright, but I love the pink going through both the light and the dark greens. I love that pink. I think it looks great. So yeah, working on this kind of steadily. Again, I think when it gets warm out, I have less of a desire to work on things that I know are like cold weather things, like objects, whatever, sweaters, etc. So I may have passed the point of no return with the pink sweater. I'll like probably get to a point in this summer where I like decide that I need to finish this pink sweater during like a week that I have off or something. You know, more likely maybe I'll do it like the week of the marathon, because I am going to be in Vermont the week before the Vermont City Marathon, which is Memorial Day weekend. And I will just be hanging out with my dad at home. I'll probably be working from home, but, you know, I'll probably like bring that sweater project and be like, this is my thing. I have to do something. I have to channel my energy into something productive the week before a marathon, like when I'm tapering. So yeah, let me show you my new socks though, before I get into, because my brain is now going in other directions. I think I said I was going to knit these, but I said I was going to knit them in these two yarns, which are so bright. I still want to knit these together. They're so fun. But I wanted to knit the Scattered Pearls socks from the Hello Sailor sock set. And I will tell you something. One of the most popular, maybe the most popular pattern on Ravelry, at least it was a few years ago. It may have been surpassed, but I'm not sure. One of the most popular patterns on Ravelry is Hermione's Everyday Socks. It's a free pattern. It's very simple. And the way that the pattern works is like every other round has purl stitches, and the purl stitches are offset. So it's like knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one. I can't remember if it's how much they're offset, if it's by 2 or by 1. And then you do one plain round, and then the next one you do the offset purls. And I think it's just like they're only offset by 1 stitch. So the Scattered Pearls socks from Summerlee Designs are just like that, but you make the pearls further apart, like farther, like both this in words are hard today, how many rounds they are apart and in how many stitches they are apart. So they look like this, and it's hard to see. Oh yeah, you can see that. I was gonna say it's hard to see because it's such a dark purple on the sock, but I think you can see. It looks nice in person, actually. It's like really subtle. Oh yeah, that's nice. You can really, it looks like little tiny polka dots. So these are a fairly easy knit. Like, they're not super engaging, but I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's basically vanilla. It's like a tiny bit modified vanilla. Again, the foot is plain, and then I did a little purple heel toe cuff. So these socks and these ones are for some friends that I'm staying with over Holy Weekend. They're not church friends, but I see them around church all the time because they live in Virginia, in Falls Church, and I'm gonna stay with them on the most comfortable air mattress in the world for Holy Week. It is actually an insanely comfortable air mattress, and I don't know how or why our air mattress company has achieved this, but it's amazing. So they're gonna get socks. So fun. So this is the first sock, and as you can see, there are some stitch markers here. That's because I was marking every 16th round. So this sock is actually almost done. I haven't really worked on them a couple days, so I need to like not spend super long on this because yeah, actually I probably won't get to knitting. I'll come back and I'll knit because I have to go to run club tonight. I don't have to, I just always do now. So this is sock 2. I probably just have like almost 50 rounds of the foot left, which means I'm about half done the foot. These stitches are so small. Do you ever like admire that on your socks? Woo, that's a good focus. Yeah, I just, once in a while you just look at socks and you're like, wow, those are really small stitches, huh? But yeah, I've just been chugging away on these socks. One thing I did that was stupid is that this is a large size sock. And I cast on correctly for this one, 72 stitches. Didn't even think, whatever, no problem. Knit the sock. This one completely slipped my mind that I was knitting the large size because 90% of the socks I knit have 64 stitches. I cast on 64 stitches and I knit the whole cuff. I realized it as soon as I started knitting in the dark purple, and I increased in like the first round. So they did go to 72. It was probably because I don't remember why. It was probably because I just like looked at the thing and I was like, these are going kind of fast, huh? Anyway, I did not rip it back. I just was like, I think they'll fit over his foot. I think it'll be fine. One cuff will just be like really tight, like a blood pressure cuff. No, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Given that like all of our sleeves are like designed that way and other things, like I didn't use a smaller needle. That would be crazy. So, no one does that. You could do that, use a smaller needle for the cuff on socks, but no one ever does. Just ribbing pulls in, so you don't really need to. So, I think it's fine. You can tell that this one is smaller if you look at them like that. But you know, it's fine. It'll be no problem. I think they're fun. I've really enjoyed the kind of break, but I also am like looking forward to getting back into like an engaging knit for socks. So I'll tell you the yarn here actually. I dyed these both. This is Knit Picks Felici undyed. And then this is Wool to Dye for High Twist BFL sock. So 100% wool, BFL, but a high twist 4-ply. So ideal for socks, just no nylon. This one, Felici, has 75% merino and 25% nylon. It's quite soft. It's softer than a like a normal indie dyed 75-25 base like this one. But yeah, I sometimes find that it's too soft and it's hard to knit quickly with it because it's just like too soft. But I think that's only a problem in the months where my hands are more dry, like in the winter months. I don't think it's as much of a problem now that it's getting more humid. So Felici, I'll show you what Felici normally looks like though. Hang on. I've shown this before, but I haven't knitted them in a while. I haven't bought them in a while. I kind of miss it, but Felici is self-striping normally. And they've changed the they've like changed it so the stripes are now a lot smaller, which is kind of interesting. I think I have more than 4, but I don't want to get the rest out. I probably have like 7 or 8 of these. And I had hopes to like get the collection every year and like knit all of them into socks and give them away as gifts. And like once in a while I do that and they're so satisfying, but then I just forget or I get sidetracked because I have 1,000 other things I want to knit. So this, I usually knit them, like I hold them double with a white yarn or like a lightly speckled yarn or a light colored yarn or another yarn, a black yarn sometimes. And make DK weight socks, and that is very satisfying. That goes so quickly. I can do like a whole sock in an evening if I have 5 hours in that evening available, which is kind of cool. Like once in a while you just really want something. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna try and throw those back into the bin. Once in a while you just want something to knit up really quick. It's very satisfying. I think it's a nice antidote to like finishing a project that took a long time. My mom frequently has more than one project on the needles at once, and she'll say like, especially if she finishes like a fingering weight sweater, she's like, no, I just want to knit a worsted weight sweater so it goes like that, and it's really satisfying. And it is nice. It makes you realize you're a really fast knitter when you can knit a sweater in like a week because it's worsted weight. Oh, that's salty. It's salty on purpose. This is water. It just has salt in it. Yeah, it's just been getting warmer. It's actually cold today, but it has been getting warmer here. So sodium, like a lot of my runs have been really sweaty lately. So gotta replenish my electrolytes. I was talking to somebody in my choir yesterday who had done a big athletic thing, actually in the morning before church, and I said, did you take electrolytes? And she's like, yeah, I took Element. And I was like, I love Element. That's my favorite. Element is like it's like fruit flavored salt and potassium and magnesium packets. And then we agreed that about the 3 best flavors. And I was like, yeah, correct. There are only 3 correct options here. But I was like, I'm so excited that someone else knew about the best product, because a lot of people take Liquid IV, but it's very commercially available. It's a good one. Or Noon. I like Noon too. I've talked about Noon before, but Element is absolutely the top for me in the summer, because it has like 1,000 milligrams of sodium in it, and I almost never put the whole packet in one water bottle unless I really need electrolytes like fast. Like in the marathon, I think I might have put the whole packet into my water bottle, because like it was gonna get diluted, because I just kept like going to the aid stations and just dumping more water like into my water bottle instead of drinking it from the cup at the aid station. So that was actually smart. I'm glad I did that. Although dumping, sometimes you get like the carb mix and then you're just like dumping it into your bottle, and then my watch, I probably said this before, but my watch got all like glazed over with like sugary water, and it was like disgusting. Sorry about that I told you that. But anyway, yeah, so I've been really enjoying those purple socks, and I'll probably have to finish those in a couple days because I have to have them ready for next week. And then when I have to block the red socks, so I actually probably should wash those red socks like ASAP so that they're dry, so that I can then block the purple socks. This is how my brain works. I'm having one of those days where I'm just like dumping everything in my brain to the camera because I don't have anything else to say apparently. And I think I'll have time to knit one more pair of socks before Helen Stewart is doing the Handmade Sock Society season 6. I've just been like manifesting this because I've been knitting her patterns lately, and I'm like, yes, finally we're getting season 6. I didn't knit any from season 5, so I've now knitted 4 patterns from season 1, all the patterns from season 2. I think I've knitted 5 out of the 6, 4 or 5 out of the patterns from season 3. I knitted 4 from season 4. I remember when season 4 was getting released. It was the beginning of 2021, and I was a nanny. I knitted the Curling Mist socks. I didn't knit the picnic blanket socks. That was the one that I skipped. I knitted the Altitude socks. Was that year? I can't remember. I don't know. I knitted the Spinifex socks. Those were the only toe up ones. I knitted the scribbly gum socks. So I've knitted like 4 of those probably at least. But I didn't knit any of season 5. She took a couple years away from the Handmade Sock Society and then came back with season 5, and I did purchase it. But I didn't knit any of them because I was very busy designing my own socks apparently at the time. And now I'm like taking a break from that, which is honestly really fun. It makes sock knitting more exciting. But she is going to release the first pattern on May 1st. If you don't know what the Handmade Sock Society is, I should tell you. It is like Helen Stewart, the designer, she comes up with a theme. This year it's libraries and books, and I'm like, yes, I love that. And her socks are all designed based on the same theme, and she releases 1 pattern a month for like 6 months, because there's always 6 patterns in the thing. And if you purchase it before it begins, she tells you like a month before it starts, you get a discount of, I don't know, 10%, 20%, maybe more than that. Excuse me. I purchased it today when it was released, and it was like 10 something, 10.50 in pounds, so it was like $15 USD. And I was like, amazing deal for 6 patterns. And it's like the mystery every month. It's so fun. And then she gives you the like yarn spoiler of the yarn that she knitted them in. So exciting. So the one that and so the yarn spoiler was also posted today for the first sock. And it was like, and it was pink. It was like a light pink. It had maybe some like a little bit of tonality or like speckles or something. And she always gives you advice, like this pattern is going to have a little bit of lace, and so it's good to pick like a lighter color. That's what she said about this one. Maybe one with a light speckle, you know, because you don't want it to be too busy or else you won't see the pattern. And so you know a little bit about it, and you can like pick your yarn or buy your yarn if you want to buy yarn every month for it. So I might use this one that I did up a week or 2 ago with these like fun little speckles. That's fun. And I think it's very like storybook kind of soft. I don't know why I get that vibe from this, but you know, I think it's fun. You can't see all the speckles. There's the magentas. This happened because I said this last time, but if you missed it, I didn't dissolve the dye first. I put the dye into the water, and like I put the dye in the water and like most of it dissolved, but I didn't like make a solution with boiling water and like shake it and let it sit for a long time. I just put the dye right in the pot and then basically put the yarn right in the pot after I filled up the pot with water. So naturally some of the dye broke on the yarn, and like while it was heating up, which is normal and fine and expected from somebody who's done this a lot. So that's fun. But I also have this as an option, which is also like lightly tonal purple, just like a smokier purple. This is more of a warm purple. So fun. I love dyeing yarn. Or I could dye more yarn. I could like dye yarn tonight. I probably shouldn't dye it tonight because I probably have to make dinner tonight. But tomorrow, I'm working from home tomorrow. I'll probably dye some yarn tomorrow, let's be honest. I could get the griddle out and do it like on the flat top surface and like instead of in the pot, and then I could speckle it. I always over speckle yarn though. I really should stop doing that. It's so hard. Anyway, yeah, because I need more sock yarn. I mean, I have white yarn, like I could have fun with it. If I feel like I need to do that tomorrow, maybe I will. It's been known to happen. Yeah. Anyway, fun. But I have time in between finishing these purple socks. Here's hoping that happens in the next couple days. Probably will. And then May 1st, which is when the new pattern gets released. And I'm not like married to the idea of casting them on May 1st, but that would be fun. May 1st seems like a very long time from now emotionally to me, because a lot of things are going to happen in April. Like Easter is going to happen in April, which is just like a lot. Always, every year. I think I'm finally old enough that I've like experienced enough Easters. Also, like, if I've moved around a lot, like college was in one place, grad school was in one place, went back home for a bit. Now I'm at K Street in DC for Easter every year. And it's so, now this is my third Easter at K Street. And I'm like, I think by like year 3, I kind of generally will have it down when I'm in a new place. I spent 4 years in Toronto, did 3 years in Philly. By year 3 in Philly, I felt kind of like I knew what was going on, I guess. I don't even really remember Easter in Philly. I remember we used to have a big party after the service at the vigil. We do not do that at K Street. We don't have a party after the Easter vigil. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we do have champagne. They pop champagne for everything at St. Paul's K Street. So, like, I don't know why they wouldn't. But it's kind of late. But our Easter vigil starts at, like, 8 p.m. So it's over by, like, 10:30. So maybe we do. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. But this is the most strenuous Holy Week experience I have ever, like, done generally. Like, is the one at K Street. So I've always done Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and in Toronto we also had to do Good Friday in the morning because Good Friday is a bank holiday in Canada, so we did it at 10 a.m. which actually I much preferred. I far preferred to do Thursday night, Friday morning, and then you have a pretty big break, and then you do Saturday night, Sunday morning, whereas at K Street we do Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, so that's a little harder, but yeah, that's probably why it's hard. There's just a lot of music. And then we have Palm Sunday this weekend, which is also huge. It's a very long service because we have the Matthew Passion sung. And we start the service outdoors with a brass ensemble and also the parish of a different church down the street. And then we walk around the neighborhood for like 15 minutes with a brass ensemble singing a bunch of Palm Sunday hymns, which is amazing. This is my third one. It has not yet rained on a Palm Sunday. So hopefully it doesn't rain. Last year it was really cold because last year it was still like the middle of March. Like it was like March 24th or 25th, I think, because Easter was March 31st. So it was pretty cold last year, but you have the robes on, so it's like not so bad. But the year before it was windy, I think. So I don't know, maybe it should be warm this year because Easter is really late. So hopefully it's warm on Sunday, but not too warm because that would be awful to like walk around the neighborhood for 15 minutes really sweaty because it's 85 degrees. I don't know. But also I'm running 20 miles on Saturday. So, you know, like it's fun. Fun times. Fun, crazy times. Yeah. I'm actually doing a good job right now. Like, I think managing the running stress on my body, like I did 3 build weeks and then I took a cutback and I felt great. And I think I felt great for the entirety of my cutback week. And now I'm building again and I'm going to have a big build this week to almost 50. Maybe I'll hit 50. I doubt it. I don't think I'm going to hit 50 miles, but I'll hit close, probably like 47 or 48. And then next week I'm going to take a down week because it's Easter. So I'm going to cut back to like 40 and then build again. And do 2 more build weeks and then another 20 miler, and then that will be 3 weeks out. So we're now, as of yesterday, it was 7 weeks for the marathon. So first 20 miler coming up this weekend. It's crazy, like 20 still seems like a lot, but I did an 18. I did a 17 and an 18, not this weekend, but the 2 weekends previous. And it was a lot. Like I ran up to meet my run club, did 10 miles with them, and then ran home both weeks. Just to tack on an extra mile on my way up when I did the 18. And by the time I got home, I was like, that was a very big run. But because I was chunking it mentally into like, I do the warm up where I run to the art museum, run 10 miles with my crew, great time, and then run home by myself downhill, which is great. Always great to run downhill. It felt a lot more manageable. Like the runs didn't feel so long. So I am going to be interested to see how the 20 goes. And I don't know how I'm going to break it up. Like, I don't know if I'm going to run, because it's about 3.5 miles to the art museum. So I don't know if I'm going to do like run to the museum and tack on an extra 1.5 miles before I meet up with the crew and then do 10 and then run home and then tack on an extra 1.5 miles. Or if I should just run there, do the 10 and then run home and tack on an extra 3 at that point. It's hard to tell what will be preferable. I prefer to get it done earlier, obviously. They don't have to do as much on the way back, but also the run club runs kind of fast sometimes, and I don't want to be like totally gassed. So we'll see. It'll be an interesting experience. Tonight I am going to run club, and we run like it's like a 5K on Monday nights. And my friend, my training partner, Keegan, she and I run like too fast often on Mondays, and we keep being like, we're gonna not run fast. And last week we ran too fast when we did not mean to, and we were both like, how did we do that? And I was like, okay, I'm setting a pace window this week so that we can't run faster than like this. And she was like, thank God. So yeah, I hope that we actually run slow tonight, because I already ran 10K this morning. So just tacking on to get to 10 for the day. Actually ran a mile yesterday because I ran to go see my friend who is running the Cherry Blossom 10 miler in DC, and my church was a mile from them, Lincoln Memorial, which is mile 1. So I got to church like really early, like at 7:30, and I ran down there, and I met her up with her husband, and we watched her go by at mile 1, which was really fun. I took this video of her. It was so funny. And I took like when we saw her, I like turned my video camera on to like video her coming by, and I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on in front of me. I was just like waving at her, and she like is in the video. At the end of the video, it's like a 12-second clip. She waves and she's like, hey. And then after, when I like went to go post it on Instagram, I watched the 12-second video. I knew I was gonna have to clip it because you couldn't see her in the beginning of the video, but in the beginning, like 5 seconds, this girl just like face plants, like she trips on nothing just on the road and just goes right down. And a bunch of people like stopped to like make sure she was okay and to try and help her. But like the video, and I'm sure if I had like witnessed this in the moment, I would have like immediately like dropped my phone and like tried to help this woman. Poor timing because my friend was running by at the exact same moment, but I didn't notice because I was filming, which is just like a normal thing. People it's terrible. We should not get so blind to like events that are happening around us, but we do. And then but all these people tried to help, but like watching the clip back, it is so funny. Like, you know, it's like watching the America's Funniest Home Videos when the kids are just face planting into like the pool and stuff. Like, and you know, like even when people get hurt, it's just a little funny, and I feel terrible for laughing at it, but I'm like, it's a visceral reaction to just laugh at people who are like eating it a little bit, like, you know, like just face planting. And I know it's terrible, but like I heard this story, this is terrible, about as long as they're like not seriously hurt, it's okay to laugh, right? I heard this story that's like one of the run clubs in Baltimore, like a faster run club that I don't run with, one of their members fell into the harbor like on a run in January, and like if you were there, I'm sure that was like a horrible thing to happen, like, or if you were the person who fell in the harbor, that would be so scary and dangerous. The water is super dirty, but like hearing about it, I laughed so hard. Like just at the thought of like some guy just like face planting into the harbor in the middle of a run. Like, I shouldn't laugh at this, but it's so funny. Anyway, oh yeah, I had one more thing I was gonna say about knitting, which is that I blocked my blue, is it in here? No, it's not. I don't know where it is. I blocked my, maybe here, this blue thing. I showed this before. I mean, I've shown it many times, but I think I showed it blocked before. And I'm just like not excited about it anymore. I think it's just like too big, and I'm like, it's taking up too much space in my brain to like comprehend that I have another sweater on the needles. Like I already have the pink one and this like pressed flowers cardigan that I haven't worked on in months. Excuse me. And I'm working on that cowl and socks, and I'm like, that's 4 things. That's like a manageable amount of whips to me. So I feel like I'm gonna actually probably unravel this. I think I'm gonna frog it, and I'm gonna save all this beautifully hand spun for something else. I don't know what. If you have ideas, it's like sport to DK weight, and there's a ton of it, and it's tonal, obviously. Drop a pattern rec in the comments if you have one, because I just can't wrap my head emotionally around finishing this hoodie. It's too big anyway, so yeah. Also, I was like, great, I'm not gonna like cast on anything. I'm just gonna like finish a bunch of whips except for socks. I will cast on socks. And then I remembered, and also I just now remembered this again. This might mess up my plans. Yeah, I probably won't Yeah, because I was saying I can knit another pair of socks before May 1st. Yeah, I can, but they have to be for Blake. I am gonna knit some stuff for some friends for a variety of reasons. One, my like childhood friend Lauren, she lives in Boston or outside of Boston, and she just bought a house, and I stayed with them after the marathon, which was really fun. But she and her husband live in Swampscott, and I am staying with them with my mom when we go to a wedding in May. Oh, I need to RSVP. Yeah, I gotta do that. Anyway, I wanted to thank them for like letting us stay at their house, and so I decided, I was like, oh, socks, great, easy. I have like a million pairs of pink socks that I could give Lauren. Lauren loves pink, but I was like, I never make men's socks, and I have to make men's socks for Blake. So I will be making socks for Lauren's husband, Blake, who I love also. I love it when your friends marry really cool people. Blake is really great. He's a good friend of mine too. So I'm excited to make Blake a pair of socks. I made Lauren a sweater a really long time ago, like when I was in grad school. That was like one of my first like Icelandic sweaters. I made it in Briggs and Little Heritage. It's white, super thick. It had like a dark pink yoke. And then I mean, if you watched my channel like 3.5 years ago, I made one for Blake too. Maybe 3 years ago. I guess I would have made it in 22 because that's the year they got married. And Lauren was like, can you make Blake a matching sweater? And I was like, oh my gosh, I totally could. Yeah, that's like a very like unisex pattern. And so I made Blake one in dark blue with a white yoke. So I did make Blake a sweater for their wedding. And I gave Lauren another sweater that I made her, which was pink. It was like a mohair pink sweater. Very on brand for Lauren. So or I could make her a new pair of socks. Oh, don't, Emma, stop. Maybe I'll make them both DK thick socks because this is super pink. Now that this is on my desk, I'm like, I could make them both socks if I held them double. Maybe I'll do that. This is so fun. Lauren would love this so much. And I made her a pair of socks once, but they weren't pink, and I feel bad that they weren't pink because she loves pink. She's like obsessed with pink. So I think I should do that, and I'll make Blake a pair in a different self-striping yarn, and I will do both of them like held double, and they'll have like thick socks because they live in Boston. It's freezing, and also they spend a lot of time in Vermont where it's also freezing, so they can have thick socks and they'll love that. Okay, done. But then I also have to not go to this one wedding that's like the week after that, and it's a friend of mine from college who is getting married in like North Carolina, and it's just like I have to go home right after that, and it's like Monica's first weekend back at church after she comes back from maternity leave. So I was like, I'll just not go to that wedding because it's too much of a hassle, which sucks, but it's okay. But I wanted to send them a gift, and so my friend who's getting married loves rabbits. I also love rabbits, not as much as she does. She actually has a pet rabbit, but she loves rabbits. And there's the Petite Knitter. Yes. Petite Knits and the Petite Knitter are two different people who design knitting patterns. And the Petite Knitter lives in Nunavut in northern Canada, I think still. She did. I don't go on knitting Instagram that much, to be honest, because I just like don't have time to scroll on social media. To be honest, I just do not. Except for Strava. I'm on Strava a lot. It's just the running social media. But she loves rabbits, and as well, the Petite Knitter. And she had a pet bunny. I think he passed away, which was really sad. But she designed several patterns that had rabbits on them, like mittens and a sweater and socks. And so I think I'm going to make my friend a pair of mittens with rabbits on them. Because despite the fact that she lives in North Carolina, they go to Asheville a lot, like in the mountains in the winter. And also she goes back to Canada all the time. This is where she's from. I've never met her fiance. I'm sure he's a lovely person. So I think I'm just going to make him a pair of socks. This random man that I've never met. So I may have to, or maybe I'll make him mittens too. No, I'll probably also make him mittens so that I can send them something that's like the same thing. I don't think his will have rabbits on them. I'm sure he's a good rabbit dad to her rabbit that she currently has, but I think I'll just make him like a normal pair of mittens. Maybe I'll make him some Selbu mittens. I love an excuse to knit Selbu mittens. They are so fun and like cool and traditional. So, and my friend is a historian, so she can explain that these are a traditional pattern. Anyway, I think that'll be fun. So I have several things to knit. which will be nice. It'll keep my whips fresh. I mean, I'll probably get nothing done on any of my other whips that I've been working on for a while, but I'm just like not in a sweater era right now, and I'm okay with that. I've just decided to be okay with that. Oh, it's 5:30. Okay, I'm gonna stop this because I gotta get ready for run club and like charge my phone a little bit. So hopefully it doesn't rain. It rained this morning on my run. It was kind of gross. It was like fine. Like sometimes it rains on race day. You just have to be ready for the rain, but I don't love it. So hopefully it doesn't rain. Which it might, but whatever. Yeah. Oh, and also the White Lotus season finale was crazy. If anybody watched it, hopefully you thought it was as crazy as I did. I was just like blown away. I actually stayed up to watch it with my friend Brianna. We like, I never stay up that late. I mean, it was on at 9 o'clock and it didn't until 10:30. But I stayed up to watch White Lotus finale. Very unexpected. A lot of fake outs, but a lot of things that I and everyone else on the internet predicted did come true. So if you haven't watched the White Lotus, it's crazy. So beware. It's on HBO Max. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. Sorry, it was kind of random today. I am just like clearly in a kind of random headspace on this wonderful Monday. It's just like a lot going on in April, so I think I'm just kind of like shaking up like the Tasmanian devil a little bit. That's just what happens, and I'm here, and I'm proud of myself for like showing up. And now I'm excited that I have another idea for Lauren and Blake's socks because that's going to be so fun. So thank you for watching. This has been Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. Bye!